Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of True Dungeon Talk with Trent. My name is Trent of trenttokens.com. I'm a really big fan of the game called True Dungeon and a very avid collector of tokens, and I like to say, as you can see from this wall back here, in today's special episode, we'll be interviewing, myself and I, will be interviewing Jeff Martin, the creator of True Dungeon. We're going to be doing what's called a Riddle Reveal, which, by the way, if you'd like to hear a little secret about me, that's a little hard for me to say, Riddle Reveal. When I was super young, I had troubles with my R's, like wed, wabbit is what I would normally say. So even today, it's like a millisecond. I have to think red rabbit. So Riddle Reveal, I have to think about it. But yes, it's a Gen Con Riddle Reveal. And if you've never heard of that, it's super cool. We talk about all the secrets behind the scenes, answers to the puzzles and the combats. It's super, super fun. Speaking of super fun, let me show you this real quick before we get to Jeff. If you've never seen the show and you're watching live, at the end of the show, I do a live giveaway for anyone who's watching live. All you have to do is click that link that's pinned. I think it's over there. I don't know, it's somewhere. Click that link, fill it out. It's not going to do anything with that information except email you on how to get the chips that I'm sending you, the treasure chips and the gold, which you can see here: first place, second place, and third place. You must be present in order to win. So just fill that out, and that will be happening at the end of the show. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Let's get to the good stuff. Everybody, please welcome Jeff Martin.
Heyo.
Oh, the audience loves you.
They do every time. It's amazing.
Man, the last time I heard an audience clap that much was the last time I introduced you. So
yeah, that is weird, isn't it?
It's either a video loop or a very enthusiastic crowd. Speaking of an enthusiastic crowd, let's do something new. Jeff, first of all, how you doing, buddy? How's things?
I'm doing great. We're back from Gen Con. We got all the trucks unloaded on Tuesday relatively easily. No big hiccups. And got a bunch of the bookkeeping and housekeeping stuff done, so we're officially kind of over Gen Con as of yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I took a nap. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I feel like yesterday I think the dust has settled from the insanity that was Gen Con. But something new that I haven't tried with you yet, but here, so you can see this, right? You can see the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So let's say hello to everybody. Let's see. Corey Klein says, I hope this doesn't go like last Saturday and wind up way behind. That's a different show. So hello, Corey. Mongo, what's up? The Riddle Reveal, he's looking forward to it. Salsa John. Let's see. Jordan, what's up? Chris Canary. Chris Amir. Larry Anthony wants to know if there's any tornadoes today. I don't think so.
Let's hope not.
Yeah,
it is Illinois, so you never know.
Yeah, that's I didn't know they had tornadoes out there. And John True Dungeon 852. Is that a new moniker? Did you get kicked out, or you've always had that one?
Stealth. He's stealth mode.
Yeah, we can't tell who you are. Let's see, Ian and Nolan, hello. Steve, Jason, hello. Dave is there. I scrolled too much. Dave, let's see, Valerian 89 says, hello, Trent and Jeff, getting tokens ready for a transmute order. Gear Golem and Herald Ring of Wrath, very nice. Working on trade goods. Basic says hello, and to both of us. Maggie, what's up, Maggie? My wife, Jen Trent. Honey, you can't enter the contest. You have enough tokens. Nolan says hello. Awkward Moon says hello. And Pink Robin Fab says hello. Okay, that's a lot of hellos. Thank you all.
I got to show off my shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to show off your shirt, I can go to this shot here.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, it's from a very awesome illustration in first edition Player's Handbook, the Magic Mouth. We can't really see it very well. Oh well.
Oh, there's like custom... a spell called Magic Mouth, I assume?
Yes, there is.
Okay, tell us what it does. We need to reveal what it does.
First edition, you could throw it on just about any location and it would stay forever until it was triggered, which was really cool. And you could be super specific as to what triggered it and what the message was. So I believe the example given in the player's handbook by Barry Gygax was, if a octogenarian female sits cross-legged with a sack full of goat clusters, please say this message. That's how specific it could be. So
wow,
that was Gygax. That was Gygax's craziness, but that was the charm.
So you had to really set that up. That is nuts.
So you can leave
wow.
a message for just one person if you want. Yeah.
Interesting. Super interesting. Okay, well, there you had it. There's our first reveal for anyone who'd never played first edition and didn't know about Magic Mouth.
I read the player's handbook a few times, like in high school, going to sleep. So that's why I remember that.
Yeah, I bet you definitely read that a few times. But speaking of reading things, let's check out what we have here. Well, first of all, Metamorphic Dragon says that they missed Gen Con already. Oh, that's sad. So speaking of Gen Con, that's what we're here doing, boys and girls. Before I forget, one other thing I always forget, do that liking and subscribe, and it helps me spread the love of True Dungeon. Last I checked, we were at 592 subscribers, so help me get to 600, and then we will continue our fight. So speaking of fighting, is this the first time you ever had to fight a tornado at a convention? Mm-hmm.
Underground underneath in a bowl. So yeah, we were very safe.
Wow. Yeah. So, how did the tornado affect True Dungeon? Help us understand that.
Well, honestly, the team that was they just did an amazing job rolling with it, and we only got off like 12 minutes on a couple and before on another, I think. It was amazing, and geez, I couldn't have got any better.
So, and
I wasn't even there.
oh, I was about to say, where were you, and how did it affect you personally?
I was ran over to the hotel to grab something to eat, and I didn't even know it happened. So I started getting texts about, I'm like, what the heck's going on?
No way.
Yeah. I didn't know.
That's crazy.
I think the reason everything went really well.
Because you weren't there. I was in Trent's lounge, and then one of the people with the important shirts, etc., came over and said, "Stay here, shelter in place." I'm like, "All right, sure." So I was fine.
I didn't notice it. I mean, I had the window wide open. I guess it's because I'm from Illinois and I'm used to storm tornado out now.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't see outside. I was inside, about to do a run, and but what did happen to me, and I think a lot of people who might be familiar with me, I had a flight canceled on the way there, and the only flight I could get was like a day and a half later. And then on the way home, I don't know if anyone has heard this yet, but on the way home, my flight was canceled again, so I had to stay an extra day. This was quite a tumultuous Gen Con, and this was Jen, my wife's first Gen Con, so this was the introduction to Gen Con for her. So hopefully she comes back again. Sure, go for it.
Like this was for SoCal back in like 2004 when we were at the Gen Con SoCal. We caused the entire convention center to close, and everybody had to file out to the street because of smoke. In our Heroes event, we had fog machines. They were supposed to turn the smoke detectors off. Somebody at the convention center got it. So we got a lot of stink eye that day because the entire convention center had to evacuate because of True Dungeon. It wasn't our fault. It was the convention center.
Yikes. All right, so they were having some I'm checking chat, and I think it's okay now. There was some audio issues, but I think you're okay now, Jeff. I think that was on my end. That was on my end, guys. My apologies. Yeah, I had you turned down too low when I was turning down some other stuff. So yeah, that's my bad. Let me just go check the other Jeff inputs. This is the fun of doing it live, people.
It's live, baby.
I'm just going to double check everything else to make sure you're okay. Just give me a second here, boys and girls. Looks like Jeff is good on everything else. All right, cool. All right, so thank you for that. So at Gen Con, yeah, people are texting me too. Sorry. Thank you guys for that in chat. So before we get to this, let's go to some questions here from chat. Yep. Sorry guys that I just noticed that. And Valerian89, your at is what caught my eye. So thank you, Valerian, for doing that. And sorry so many people said that his sound was gone. All right, so I'm checking. I think we had a question in here. Speaking of that, if you have any questions, go ahead and just type the word question and what your question was. We have a request for you to recap what happened with the tornado. So let's do take two.
Take two.
So Jeff, what happened with True Dungeon and the tornado warning?
What happened was the staff and volunteers did an amazing job rolling with it. Couldn't have gone, I don't think, any better. Everybody did really well. We only, I think, got behind 12 minutes on 2 and 24 minutes on the other 2 or something like that. So they did a great job. And luckily the lights went out, and it's a really good time for us. So that it really came very close to when the 12-minute thing was supposed to start over. So everything went really well. And the reason I think it went so well is because I was not actually there. I ran over to the hotel room to grab some food, and I was just there. I didn't even know anything was going on. I had the window wide open. I didn't notice any crazy wind or hail or anything, so I was totally clueless. I didn't find out about it till the text started flying between some folks that are on, that I have text chains with, and I was really curious what was going on. But it took everything I had not to start calling and bugging them about what the heck's going on. So I just left them alone.
So you just let them handle it, and they handled it.
Yeah, I just went over there. I just said they'll get it. So I went over and I didn't bug them. By the time I got there, I could have just stayed and kept eating my hard-boiled eggs. So I don't know why I even came over there.
I see.
So they did awesome.
And yeah, people are saying that the staff was awesome and it was handled great for the group. And then you also mentioned I think the people would like to hear. You said that there was a story about some type of situation like this in the past. What was that story again?
A long time ago, back in 2004 at Gen Con SoCal in Anaheim, we had a separate event called True Heroes, which was based on Marvel superheroes. It was really cool, and we thought it'd be really cool to have fog in there for the effect we wanted. So we got a hold of the convention center, and we had to hire a fire marshal to sit in there because they had to turn the smoke detectors off. So that was the plan. We fired up the fog machines, and then about noon on the first day, which I think was Thursday, the smoke detectors went off. They had forgotten to turn them off. So as a result, the entire convention center had to clear out. Everybody. Yep.
Whoa.
So everybody left. They all had to go out on the street, and the fire department showed up, and it was a huge mess. We got some stink eye from people because it was us. It wasn't our fault, but nobody knew that. It was just one of those things where you're like, yeah, we're just gonna get some stink eye about this. But yeah. So they did turn off the smoke detectors after that. So that was good.
Were you invited back there, or did
Yes.
Gen Con move?
they realized they realized it was not our fault, and I think they were used to dealing with the convention center. So yeah, it was
Got
cool.
it. Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty nuts. Okay.
yeah. It definitely freaked me out when we set off the smoke detectors because I was like, it's not my fault. But
Wow.
yeah, it took a couple of hours, I think, for Gen Con to verify it was not our fault. So
Oh no. How high were the ceilings? That's got to be nuts.
yeah, that's why it took so long for it to fill in, and yeah,
Yeah.
took like 3 or 4 hours for it to actually start going off. But
Now I've
anyway,
seen you use smoke since, but I guess it's more water vapor and not quote
yeah,
unquote
it's a
smoke.
different thing. They have much better. They have different. They're not chemical detectors anymore. They have some kind of laser thing, so it's not about particulates hitting a certain sensor. It's some kind of infrared laser, some kind of thing
Hmm.
where they can sense the particulates hanging in the air and know
Got it.
it's something. So
Got it. So speaking of questions from the audience, let's see, just catching up. All right, so we've got a feedback question. A lot of people saying that it was handled for the group. Bag check guarded the bags well. I think John, that was you. Rob Ramsey, what's up, Rob? All right, so let me go to this first question that I see here. Valerian89 has a question. What was the feedback on the switch to 5 rooms dungeons?
yeah, I knew we'd talk about that. Well, as I'm still going through, I've gotten through about 75-80% of the numbers. It's interesting. There's a wide distribution because there are a lot of the group said, 10 of them said, let's go back to 7, and a lot of them 10 said 10. A lot of them had everybody saying no, let's keep it at 5. There were a few kind of in the middle, but yeah, there's definitely it's not a bell shape. It's more of a yeah. There's
Hmm.
definitely not much of a middle ground. So yeah, it was very interesting to see that. And it'll be very helpful for us to decide when we get to there what to do next year. There's been a lot of great feedback on the forums lately about that, and in person, I got a lot of people shared their opinions with me throughout the con, and we're going to talk about it as a group and come up with something. It won't be for a while. We've got too much other stuff that we got to do with the virtuals coming up and Gamehole Con and Grunnell's little thing in December. But we should have a decision definitely made when we announce all the events for next year, whatever that'll be towards the end of the year.
Got it. And speaking of that, you just mentioned Grunnell. I don't think you confirmed that until just now, and I just noticed it a day or so ago on the forums, unless it was there and I just didn't see it. But yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, everybody listening, click upcoming events, and you can see that the Grunnell adventure is there. So
Yes.
that means it's happening. Let's see. Link678 has a question. Exciting to see 1,000 new players, referring to the newsletter.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on getting space in the con center with a display to show off TD and what it's about in order to drive up more traffic?
Yeah, there's a lot of really good ideas. Space at Gen Con is like very difficult to get because they have, so many people want space. And maybe next year when they add all the other extra ballroom over there at the new hotel, there's a bunch more space coming online next year, online next year. So maybe, I mean, we've tried to get space just outside. I don't know if you've seen it, right outside our current space. You and I both have tried to get more room out there to do some things,
That's where I
and
was trying to get Trent's Lounge for like the past 5 years. Yeah.
I think they're not going to give us any more space. We have 44,000 square foot space, and I think that's all we're going to get. I mean, I could like buy maybe a booth in the exhibit hall, and if I could get it, I don't know if there's a waiting list or what. That would be one idea that we could do it there and just
Like a demo,
offer
maybe.
offer some kind of interesting thing to just explain about it for sure. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of different ways we could try to do it. I'm hopefully we're going to be able to improve our online stuff a little better, and we can maybe reach more people that way this year. We have a lot of new email addresses from new players, so I'm hoping we can engage them more.
That's very cool. Speaking of new players, Jordan Kennedy's 1072 has a question. There's been a lot of discussion in the Discord about new players' experience and different ways to better onboard players. How often does the team brainstorm the new player experience?
That is a great and timely question. In fact, that is at the top of our agenda this year. The agenda's been made. We're going to have a meeting, a preliminary one on Monday, to go over some really good ideas, I think, that I came up with. I've heard from people, and I'm sure the TV staff team will have a lot of good ideas too. But yeah, just for instance, on the way home, I asked Drake, "What's the number one improvement you think you can make?" And he said, "Combat or training and coaching." He wants to really try to get that, which I agreed. It hasn't really been addressed in many years, so we're going to brainstorm some ways. I think we got some good ideas, and we'll post them on the forums for feedback when we get some.
Okay, cool. Next question's from the Gemtopia. In Epilogue for Haunted Manor only, we were surveyed about the 5-room switch. Why was the survey only run in Haunted Manor? I think that might have been a mishap. It was run in every dungeon, right?
It was in every dungeon except Fang and Fury, since that was just but it was run. It was supposed to be running all 3 of them. I've got lots of data from all 3 of them. So maybe there was somebody filling in for them in Epilogue if they played a different adventure, but maybe they forgot or something.
Got it.
Or maybe they're running behind. Maybe they skipped at that time.
Okay, there's a lot of chatter here about different thoughts, but I'll call out one. Jeffrey Dillon says, opinion, both 2 5s and a 7 and a sealed. So
yep, I've heard that from many people.
Yeah,
and I've heard 6 rooms. It's a lot of good ideas out there. There's not really, I didn't hear any bad ideas. It's just we got to consider like 8 to 10 different factors to try to figure it out, and this was kind of a test. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't have a lot of time for all this, but the big thing is we wanted new players to play this year, and I think we've definitely accomplished that.
Oh, cool.
We definitely need to replenish our volunteer base, and the more collectors, the better for the future of the event as well. So that, I think we accomplished that, what we wanted. So
that's cool. Good to hear. Corey has a suggestion to do another analytics, another survey, now that people have had time to digest it. And perhaps if I could add on to that, maybe you could even explain it a little more for the people.
Sure.
So just a thought, especially with all the new emails you got. Nolan has a comment, new player experience definitely needs improvement. I had 4 new players I brought this year, and all but one bounced hard off of it because of the various difficulties, even with helping prep. So yeah, I hear you. Ramseldor, what's up? Hello. And so Gemtopia says, my group was not surveyed in Castle or Monster Unbound. Dope. So I guess some type of mishaps there.
Weird.
Quizboy has a question. I strongly believe the Commando 4-room adventures that don't allow old tokens or provide XP is the best for new players. What about a return to sealed 4-room with no XP? I don't know if you did that. I think you did a recap of the old, right? Wasn't that what that was?
We used to call it kind of like we would take a previous adventure from the year before and or several of them, and convert it into 4. And there was XP, but you had to be like under 4th level or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Yeah. And then Awkward Moon, character cards should be adjusted if sticking with 5-room runs. So you probably have heard that.
Yeah.
Tracker has a question. If the in-person dungeons stay at 5 rooms, will the character cards be rebalanced? I guess that's actually the commentary.
That would be that's definitely part of the discussion for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I don't want to say because we haven't talked about
Understood. All right, so let me dive into what we're here for. Great questions for everybody. I mean, I feel like we could possibly do a show with nothing but Q&A, but I do want to give what we promised, the riddle reveal. So let's dive into that. At Gen Con, there was Fang and Fury, Monster Unbound, Haunted Manor, and Castle Cravenmore. We will not be doing any reveals for Castle Cravenmore because that's going to be at Gamehole, and we're going to talk about that. But speaking of talking about stuff, the voice of True Dungeon is Rob Ramsey. Here's him screaming at a microphone doing one of his hard rock songs. No, that's not true. He's doing voiceover work here. So yeah, if you didn't know, that handsome voice that you hear in all the different videos is this guy, Rob Ramsey. He also has done some video work for me, and we will be doing, we did some video work at Gen Con, and I'll be releasing that later. And he also took the videos that you're about to see, so I just wanted to give him some proper recognition there. Now, the first one is Fang and Fury. Now, this was like an intro for the Gen Con adventures. How would you describe this one real quick?
Yeah, we made it part of the story arc. I didn't advertise it too much that way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it flowed after this. You left and decided to go try to get some hunter crossbows. Now that you've recovered some nice melee weapons in the shrine.
Got it. All right. So yeah, I thought it was a really cool intro. Such a good intro. I decided to do a new player run at Gen Con, and thank you to Jeff and Lori for helping me coordinate this. Everybody you see there except my handsome face, now these are all new players. So they ran with me and my wife, Jen, and they were all new players, and they had a great time. And I did some before and after video interviews, and we're going to be showing everybody that soon. So Fang and Fury, I think, was really a great intro. And speaking of the intro, here is the intro video. So if someone happens to be watching who's never played True Dungeon before, when you go into when you're about to start an adventure, at least in the more recent years, there's been like a video overview, kind of like what a dungeon master reads the text. You meet in a tavern and in the corner, blah blah blah. So this is kind of that, or this is that for Fang and Fury. So let's have a listen and check this out.
The land has turned dark, and all hope has fled Cravenmore. Once its hills bloomed with life, and the bells of Fallowdown rang to honour Saint Raya, a friend to peace. But that light has long since withered. From the crypts beneath Castle Craven rose the vampire Lord Craven, a tyrant whose thirst knows no end. Under his curse the lands decay, and night itself seems to feed upon the souls of those who dwell within the mist-guarded realm. Yet hope stirs anew. The heroes of the Order of the Dawn have sworn to break the curse and bring sunrise to the darkened vale. But before they face the Lord of Cravenmore, they must seek the relics of a great saint. Holy blades and hammers, consecrated in ages past, hidden deep beneath the ruined temple of Saint Raya. With these implements of holy might within their grasp, your brave band of adventurers may bring ruin to the foul Lord Craven. Deep within the sorrowful village of Fallowdown, the hero's quest begins, where a secret cache of holy weapons lay waiting for those bold enough to locate and enter Saint Raya's haunted temple.
Very cool. Yeah, so that was the voice of Rob Ramsey, for anyone who didn't know. Let's jump to a couple of questions here before we talk about this room number 1 of Fang and Fury. Brian Lingenfelter says, any chance we can get the dialogue placards back like they were a few years ago? I have a hard time hearing the dialogue before the rooms. Most of the time it takes away from the story without it. I think I've mentioned that before, like when you're in the waiting area and you're about to enter another room, it would be amazing if there's like a little, monitor there with the dialogue, because what usually happens is there's like 10 people and only like person number 1 and person number 2 ish can hear, because the speaker's right there and there's so much other noise going on. It'd be, I think, amazing to have 1 or 2 monitors there with like that story, because I love the story, and to not hear like what the story is and where. And now that you've solved, the tavern issue, now you go into the cave or whatever. So, yeah, I'm sure that's something on your list to discuss, etc. I assume.
Actually,
right?
it is. It's funny you mention that.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
Brian mentioned it. I feel like I've mentioned it before because I'm getting old and hard of hearing as well. So.
Yep.
So awesome. So it's on the list, Brian. Jordan has a question. Do you think the opportunity to purchase a copy of the module after the adventure is possible, even if it's print on demand through something like Drive-Thru RPG would be sweet? We used to have those, Jordan, back in the old days. Yeah. Any comments there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't like, I don't like doing anything like kind of halfway. So it always pained me to kind of put those out without, originally we made them like first edition looking things. So you could kind of, and we used the Arial font and made it look just like the original first edition stuff. And then you could kind of forgive the not so great text here that's in the module. But anyway, we just stopped doing it because it was a lot of extra time to get them ready, and we needed that time to do other things. So it just kind of fell away from the
priority list. I hear you.
It fell away.
Yeah, so for the old folks, there used to be modules, and we used to get them every year, and Jeff would sign them. So those were the days. And let's see, no more questions here. All right, so let's talk about Room 1. This was a super cool Room 1 to walk into. For someone who's never played True Dungeon before, this was just chef's kiss. And this is just kind of a top-down view of the graphic. And here's a live photo of that room and the board, which is just unbelievable. I think you just kind of instinctively walk up to it and kind of stand in front of one of the cards, and the NPC is really great here. The story's great, and it's not too dark, but also not too bright. I mean, this was just kind of a home run room. And here's like a little video, and I've got the sound kind of turned down here, and we could talk about it. So, like, where did this room come from, and how did this come to be? Because it's just amazing.
Well, we added a new staffer here last year that has all these video skills. He was able to create this thing. And it was, this is like, we played around with this kind of thing a little bit last year, but this year we kind of took it up a notch after we had, you can see how it's synced. Basically, this was just a whole lot of fun. This was the first thing we worked on for the year, and kind of set the tone for the rest of the adventures. And we were like, hey, we're gonna make this 4-room dungeon as good as possible. We're not gonna mail this thing in. And so we started Room 1 with a wow puzzle. So with lots of cool effects, and it took us a while to figure it all out, how to make it work, what color to paint the table to make it have the right kind of saturation, and then we came to later the idea of actually putting in blank cards so it gives them some elevation, so it looked a lot more realistic. Just that tiny little 1/8-inch shadow that those cards made, that's all one giant projected image, but we were able to map it.
Unbelievable.
And it made it look so much better. So this was the one that set the tone for the year.
Yeah, so I did this a few times, and the main card. Oh, so actually, so we should do the reveal part. So do you want to do the reveal part here? I kind of remember it.
You could do it.
Okay, I'll do the reveal part here. So this is a classic True Dungeon puzzle. 10 people stand around something. So in this example, it was a table, and there's 10 cards, and generally when something first happens, you don't really know what's going on, so sometimes you have to have something revealed more than once. So the NPC walks you through this room, by the way, was called Cards of Fortune, and the NPC gives you some clues, and there might have been a rogue clue as well, like get to the point or something like that, and the NPC reveals the cards, and if you pay attention, if you each have a card and you look at the card, each card is kind of pointing in a particular direction, or there's like a sword or an arm or something pointing toward that, and then you've got this object in the middle of the room, or in the middle of the table, and you need to place that onto the card that they were all pointing to, and it probably took you a couple times to figure that out. But then there's the story and the magic part behind it that I don't remember, that maybe you could fill in, Jeff.
Sure.
It wasn't like put thing here,
Yeah, when you came into the room, it should have looked pretty static like this. You met the NPC soothsayer, Myrtleen, which is, and she basically told you that, hey, the saints can bless you. You just have to kind of prove you're kind of worth their time, and you'll get some extra goodies, like maybe some hit points or something. Who knows?
Oh, that's right. At the end, you get hit points. Yeah.
And so basically, it was that the saints were testing you, and the rogue clue should have been. I got it right here. Just work well together is the point.
Yeah, something with the point. Yeah. Yeah, super duper cool room. I mean, super duper home run. And I assume that video person with skills that you hired this year or last year was Drake. Is that right?
Yep.
Well, tell Drake kudos. This video interaction thing was super cool.
NPCs were great, and the set deck team did a great job of making this first room feel really cool.
Oh yeah, every dungeon, every room, and every little middle section was killer. Was absolute killer. I think this is probably maybe the first year that I think every single section in between rooms had some type of design. Maybe there were other years, but I feel like it's maybe been a while since I can recall that. But yeah, this was like one of the best ever, in my opinion. So,
yep.
Let me check in with chat here. So it looks, people talking about the modules. It looks like we got some new people in chat. Hello, new people in chat. Oh, Sean, Sean Smith, the guy who turned me on to True Dungeon. Sorry you missed this one, buddy. And Salsa John says, Drake, a chip off the old block. And John at True Dungeon 852 says, new walls help set the mood. I agree. Let's move on to room 2, called Banshee. So check this out.
Yep. You are basically told to go to the shrine on the other side of the temple on the other side of town, and when you get close, you get jumped by this banshee.
Yeah, is this like a graveyard we're in? Is that what this one was?
Yeah, I mean, on one side you can see the kind of the village where you came from. The other is a graveyard, and the other one's kind of the entrance to the shrine.
Yeah, this was one of the 3 wall rooms, right?
Correct.
Yeah, where there's video on all in that 3 corners, in front and on the sides. Man, I don't know about other people, but that really rocks my world. The immersiveness is just through the roof, and it's kind of like when you're watching a movie or a TV show. You have 100 people. Most of them might be looking at the main character, but a lot of people kind of look around and look at other stuff. So I know I do. So there's just so much to take in, and I really like that environment. I'm not sure. Tell us in chat if you guys like that as well. but I really liked it personally. So this was Banshee, and then so then you fight the monster, and then you move forward. Anything else about room 2 here?
She was resistant somewhat to Sonic, because she had the Sonic Scream thing. So that was about it. I mean, she was undead, and cursed. So some of the tokens this year did extra damage if you had one of those. If it did extra.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, the set deck team did a great job of taking Drake's videos and making them into kind of a 3D kind of feel thing. So kudos to everybody who pulled this room off.
By the way, how does that work? Is it 1 projector? Is it 3 projectors?
Three. We spent a crap ton of money on a bunch of 4K short throw projectors this year, and a lot of new walls. The new walls, the walls that John talked about, we bought a bunch more of those so that we could have some really cool new walls.
So 3 projectors, 1 per wall in those 3 wall rooms. Yep. Wow, that's a lot of projectors. Those things are not cheap. Yucky doodles. All right, so Fang and Fury room 3, the next one was called Temple Door. Very, very cool room. This is the scroll that you would see on the wall. And let me show you the video here, and we can talk over this. It's a hair dark, but there are a bunch of sections here, and this is a classic red herring thing that we all fall for every single time. Of course, we're looking at these circles, and there's this very cool statue in the middle. But if I'm not mistaken, the rogue clue helps you to look elsewhere. And also, for this clue here where it says to find the climbing numbers, I think that sounded weird to me, like to find the climbing numbers. So I thought, oh, that's gotta be something. But yeah, so on each of these little posts, and my wife noticed this as well, there are vines, and it's kind of like a draw. When you look at the vines, you might notice that you kind of see 2 vines going over, like, that looks maybe that looks one too. And then eventually, I'm having people helping out with
on 3, got 2, 3 got 4.
So then we do
That's 6, 7, 8. 8's here. So we're looking for 4. Where's 4?
And catch that, I think you're just so you're saying you can't come up with a video?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Let me try that again. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So yes,
it was nice to hear the audio because it kind of told everything. Sorry we missed you, but
oh yeah.
The
Okay.
audio was helpful.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Some of these videos it's a little too loud, so I turned them down. All right. So the quick version is you notice that the vines are Roman numerals. There you go.
Right. Yeah. The road clue said look for divine guidance.
Yeah.
And then the other one was basically climbing numbers, which is the vines column up there.
Right.
There's also one about the nose, near the nose of the statue, and there was also a flower.
Right. Yeah. So what for people in chat? What I have is I've got when I play these videos, I have the video down or the audio down to 50%, so we can talk because it's a lot of like Gen Con noise, so it's kind of hard to like hear. All right. So that was room 3 of a 4-room Fang and Fury, and then the final room. In the module, it's called Big Bad Wolf. I wonder why it's called that. Let's see if we can figure it out.
Yep, Dave. Whoops.
Yeah, what a
right
great final room for new players. to see this costume NPC, and the person who did it, or you probably had multiple people do it, kudos to them.
Yes, it's a very hot suit to wear, and we got them some ice vests, but it's still very hard. And they can't see extremely well with this thing, so that if they didn't quite jump out or move as quick as you had hoped or whatever, it was the visibility in the dark. We wanted them to be safe, so.
Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah, Meat Hook 25 says the NPC in this room crushed it. I agree. Very, very cool. John says both wolf NPCs were awesome. Wow. So only 2 people did this. Whew. Man, kudos to them. Great dungeon. Amazing set. Amazing NPC. Fun combat, and the wolf healed itself, so this was a very challenging combat. If you didn't put out enough damage, you basically did not make it.
Yeah, they're empowered by the moonlight to basically regenerate a bit. So,
wow, cool. Well, that was Fang and Fury. Let's dive into the next module at Gen Con, which was technically part 1 of this next part of the story, which was Monster Unbound. Again, let's listen to the intro video for Monster Unbound. Listen and watch.
The land of Cravenmoor was not always a place of dread. Once the sun rose bright and warm upon its fields, and the people slept without fear. But all light faltered when the vampire lord Craven claimed dominion, spreading a curse that rots the soil and binds the land to endless dread. Joy has become little more than a whispered memory. Now a new hope rises. A band of adventurers newly sworn into the Order of the Dawn are charged with ending Craven's vile reign. Yet even courage and steel are not enough to defeat the ancient vampire. If victory is to be claimed, they must seek the aid of Baron Gregor von Mockenstein, a master tinkerer whose hunter crossbows excel at slaying the undead. However, Gregor's mind has been shattered by dark tragedy, and madness now rules his thoughts. His aid may be a difficult deed to earn. He dwells in a ruined castle, deep within the Fellwood. There, many of his failed experiments to create life now roam in murderous rage.
Yeah, some foreshadowing here. Very cool what's happening here. So that was the Monster Unbound. New Hope. Is that a Star Wars reference there? Yeah, I really liked, let's see if I can find the beginning here. Where is it? Let me hit play here. Oh, I don't see it. Oh, the adventurers. I love that line of adventurers, because I thought that was kind of cool, because, you can kind of, that's the group. So I think that's really cool. John says we let the Make-A-Wish family pet the wolf after the backstage tour. That's cool. Nolan has a question. Who's the artist for the lead-in videos? Okay. Awesome. Maggie says my favorite run of Gen Con was the last Saturday run of Fang and Fury. One of us. Oh, so you did a one of us run. That's cool. And anyone in chat, Jeffrey has a question. Anyone in chat have issues with a lot of missing tokens in TD Character Creator website? Is it still being updated and such? Yeah, I've seen people talk about that. The one that David and I created, truedungeontokens.com. We get those tokens updated pretty quickly, and we have a builder there. You can check my videos and somewhere around here. And I talked about, it says we can't hear Jeff again. Hold on. What is going on with Jeff's stuff?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Let's see, Jeff, can we hear you?
Testing.
Hold on.
Apples and oranges.
Is creeper considered undead?
No, it is not undead. Where he did that?
Yes, it's also supposed to be the same.
I got it.
So what's the,
What's good?
let's see, something like this. I'm going to sing na 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 na.
Graphic here, and Tracker Hodge 1281 says that thing was terrifying. Yeah, I agree. That monster is nuts. Look at that. Holy
Yeah.
potato chips. So what was the deal with this room 1 of Monster Unbound? Was this
Well,
monster released?
It escaped. It's one of his failed experiments.
Oh,
Very
no.
many of them. Yeah. We licensed this video from a cool company that makes a lot of nice Halloween and other seasons videos. But yeah, Drake did a good job of getting it, modifying it to fit what we need. So yeah, it was pretty creepy.
Maggie says that monster was way into Uncanny Valley. So yeah, that was a scary monster. So that was room 1 of Monster Unbound. You had to fight that monster off.
Yeah, you were traveling to get to the castle and eventually show up, and yeah, he was a curse though, since it was in the land. So that would have helped if you had those kind of weapons.
Yeah, the new accursed weapons. Yeah, I think that's super cool when the weapons and the abilities of that year apply. So very fun, especially for sealed pack or lower level runs. Next up we have room 2, which you hilariously called Watt kind of puzzle, as in WATT.
Yeah.
I assume you named it. So this is a graphic of the table that was built. Very, very cool table in person. And here is the clue on the wall, the settings. And now before I play this video, so this is at 50%. And let me check Jeff. Jeff is at
Can you hear me?
100%. All right, so now let's play this and we'll chat about this. So this is a video of this room, and look, the walls were cool. The walk into this room was cool. The walk out of this room was cool. This was just a stellar room.
I think the lights, the green lights are off, but I think they did that because it was going to blow out the. Well, you can see them here. That's how they were when you walked in the room, but they were really bright. And yeah, basically the idea was here that somehow these settings tell you which one of these basic fuses or whatever we call them. I can't remember exactly. And to use to get the machine running. So they're all labeled at the top. But the trick was basically to put these numbers on the, like in a clock, and it would spell out a message. This is his secret way of basically telling them what to do.
This was super cool. A very cool room. The NPC was great, and it was kind of like part of the story. I like when that kind of stuff happens personally. It almost reminds me of that. I'm not going to remember her name, but she was like the pirate lady, and it was her Ella, right? Ella. So I feel like we solved Ella's ship problems like 2 or 3 times, which is kind of hilarious. So if she appeared here, I think it would have made sense. Where am I? Why am I here? It would have just been another little funny nod. But this was a very cool puzzle to deal with.
The rogue clue was use your wits in a timely manner.
Right. Yeah. This is another. I'm not so great at puzzles, but my my group is really smart and they were good at this, and also my wife Jen was like really into this time, so she figured out the time thing. I didn't know what was happening, but then I understood once they told me. So this was a very cool room.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping if you're not into puzzles that much, which is totally fine. I think I wouldn't be very good at doing puzzles. I'm more of them making them than solving them. At least I'm hoping that the interaction's cool and that the props are cool and that you're getting some enjoyment out of just enjoying the room and the props and that kind of thing. So
Yes.
we tried to go the extra mile here to make this table and all the components really cool.
Yes. I hope that no one hears me say that and thinks that it means it's not fun. What you just said is exactly true. So for me, what I personally get is just the cool atmosphere, the interaction of the puzzles themselves, and some of them require 10 people to do something. So I partake in that and do my part. But yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, my brain just does. I'm not a big board gamer either, so. But for people who like escape rooms and love puzzles, which, by the way, a lot of the new people that played in that run, most of them said that they liked the puzzles. So I think that's a kind of a modern trend as well in the escape room environment that people are really used to. I think the escape room fans who also like, this kind of environment, I think they would eat it up. All right, so room 3 was next. Here is...
Yeah.
You had more to say about room 2? Sorry.
Nope, that's it. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Room 3. Again, if anyone has any questions, let me know in chat. The Gymtopia says Monster Unbound was their favorite, thinking that this puzzle was great. And hello, 3769 Chris. Good evening and hello. So here, this room 3, had 2 choices. It could be puzzle or combat, and if you chose the puzzle portion, it was called the receiving room, and the combat portion was called Igor, as in the letter I and then gore. But this is the receiving room image from the module, and this was the clue, and very, it's the trick here, I think, is to not be distracted by all of the the red herrings on the table that I'm about to show you. What you really need to do was to find this tapestry here. So if you hadn't solved this one here, look at this tapestry here real quick, and then let me show you this video here. And before I hit play, I'm just going to double check the sound to make sure we're good. All right, so this looks good. All right, so Jeff, what are we looking at here?
Well, this puzzle is actually an homage to another puzzle we did back in 2007, long time ago. It was a wizard's library. We decided to use it here. It had been almost 20 years. It's time to redo it.
Wow.
Instead of looking at a goblet, there's a tapestry on the opposite wall of this dining room set, and if you look at it, I know it's 180 degrees, so you can't look at them both at the same time, so it's a little not super obvious, but there's only one difference between what's in the tapestry and what you see in life, and there's a goblet. In the tapestry, it's turned over, and in real life, it is just normal.
Exactly.
So,
let me see if I can zoom in on this. It looks like I can. I don't know if it's going to...
there it is. You had it for a second.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's on the edge of the table.
Yeah, see right there on the edge. See how that left edge, the left edge is up, and then on this image here, it's upside down. So let me
on
grab,
the left there. Yep.
Yeah, let me zoom
So if you
in.
turned it over like that, you'd find underneath there was a small key that was
Right there.
That,
Yeah, so super cool puzzle, and of course everyone's wasting their time looking at everything on the table. No one's looking at that thing there, but so right at the last minute you start to it clicks, and so that's a very fun puzzle. And let me check here with chat. The Feast of Red Herring, yeah, Brian, that's what Brian called that. And Igor was another great NPC monster. Valerian says, "Oh, this puzzle was so sneaky for those of us who ran Gen Con last year." Jeffrey says they ate some delicious cheese. That's not good. And Metaphoric Dragon says room 3 was hilarious. Someone solved the puzzle while most of us were not paying attention and or taking damage from touching things. Yeah. And Maggie says, coincidentally, I've been friends with the Evening Igor for over 20 years. Wow, that's crazy.
Whoa.
How about them apples? So speaking of that, if you chose the combat version, same room, but you're fighting Mr. Igor here.
Yeah, he decides that you're not going to bother his master. He's too busy working on very important projects, so he decides to hack. He has this massive arm, and he had the fun ability to be able to pick people up and launch them across.
Yeah,
the room.
right. You could throw them into other people, right?
CPN came up with that mechanic. I thought that was really funny. So yeah, we rolled with that for sure.
That's very cool. Yeah. That was a great room. I love the rooms where you can do choices. And Jordan says it was fun. Throne players triggered retribution damage. Our dwarf killed a throne cleric. Oh, great. All right. So
and I was going to say the rogue box clue in that room. The rogue box clue in that room was "Thou art wise to seek." So basically, look at the art, and you'll find something that might be useful.
Right. Very cool. All right. So let's see. Let me go to room 4. All right. So this is called Move the Cube. This is beautifully done. Super awesome room. Let me check. I'm gonna give me a second.
Yeah, this is one of those. This is one of those rooms where it works great in Carbondale, but for some reason once we get to Indy, it had some issues with the controller getting lost occasionally. But the NPCs did a great job of working with it if it malfunctioned. So,
yeah. So this is a classic help each other out. So 10 people come in, everybody grabs a rope, and you have to, as you can see there in the image here, or the video rather, you've got to work together as a team to move the little lamps into their corresponding colors. You can see that is going toward that white lamp, and now it's got to move it over there, and everybody has to work together, pulling and releasing tension to put all the lamps together, and then that charges this monster to wake it up. And that's my version of this. What there's probably more to the story here, right?
No, I think you did a great job there. I'm hoping it was fun. It's similar to other ones we've done in the past, but people have loved this so much that and it seemed to fit the theme so well. Basically, what we wanted to happen, that we did a twist on the classic puzzle and made it kind of a pusher thing. We've previously done this kind of with the ship or something model. But I thought it worked great in Carbondale. Apologies if you ran into some trouble in Indianapolis, but I really love the effects that we had projected hidden on the monster. And I thought it worked really well, and it set up the next room where basically now he's being raised up to the roof, and he just needs one bolt of lightning and he'll come to life.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of like the story progressing and making sense from room to room. So room 5.
Oh, and I guess I should give you a little backstory. The reason the Baron is trying to make all these things is because he basically, Craven killed his wife, and he's trying to come up with an army of something that he made the hunter crossbows. Now he needs somebody to use them that's going to be not affected by the vampire abilities. So he thinks if he can create this artificial life, that it will basically be immune to a lot of the effects that vampires can have on the living. So he keeps trying, even though he keeps failing, but he's getting closer. you got pretty close to this time. Not quite close enough, unfortunately.
Very, very cool. So yeah, people are talking about the thing in chat. If it didn't work, whatever, the NPC, jumped right in and it was totally fine. And I feel like it's kind of expected when you've got, so many people coming through. It's going to be kind of hard for these things to be perfect all the time. But this room and what we did here just flowed so beautifully into the next room. And here is the next room. You feel free to share with people your love for a certain genre and a place and that help inspire this. Please tell people, the things that you love.
I mean, I'm of the age where the monsters, when I was growing up, were the universal classic monsters. So, the werewolf, Frankenstein, all the Invisible Man, the Mummy, Dracula, all those guys. So I've always had a special, part of my heart about them because they were like the first big imagination generating type of monsters and movies that really got me imagination excited. I can talk more about that later in the next module when we get to that. But yeah, this was a great room. I thought that I wish we could have gotten a little better of a Frankenstein animatronic, but this was the best available for any money. Nobody really makes a really, really nice Frankenstein, and we couldn't really do this with a costume. So I hope people kind of forgave the not so animatronic, but that's we tried to make the room look really great, and then the special effects were very good.
Yeah, so this is kind of all the theater kids who are listening will understand this. So Jeff, what you just said, nobody knew that this was the only one that you could get, or the best one, and you wanted something more. We didn't know that. This was super cool. This was the best thing ever. It's amazing. So I appreciate hearing you wishing that you could have done better, but man, don't be afraid to accept some slaps on the backs and pats on the backs. This was awesome, dude. It was amazing. And yeah, sorry to hear that you wish it was better, but oh man, no, we don't know that the paint's wet unless we touch it. This was incredible, and it flowed so beautifully from the previous room. And remember, this was one of the coolest experiences from the beginning to the end. So this is a great room, and a great adventure as well. So please accept the accolades of awesomeness. We loved it, I've never heard anybody say anything but that. I mean, for instance, here's someone, love this room, and Tracker Hard says those are plungers, right? And Gymtopia says agree with Trent on that. Jeffrey says agree, it's a great room. And Brian says Frank looks a lot like Jeff. All right, so that's not what I was going for, Frank.
That's pretty true. I didn't say that before.
Yeah, Basic says the combat was a lot of fun. Myron says, I second that, Trent. Jeff, I thought the monster was amazing. I love the lighting effects. That's right. I mean, I've never seen these kind of lighting effects in any True Dungeon room. So
sure.
Unbelievable.
Apologies to those that tried lightning on him. He was
didn't that heal him, if I'm not mistaken?
No, he just took he's immune to it.
Oh, immune, okay.
Oh yeah, he gets 50% back. That's right. He got 50% back of whatever damage you did to him.
Right. That's so great.
That's kind of what happened there.
Cool. Awesome. We got another one. Salsa John. Hopefully you can remember these names. Salsa John says Frankie does look a lot like Jeff.
I agree.
Myron says protection from energy. Lightning stopped it from healing? ? I don't know. Not sure. Maybe rephrase the question. Steve Harris says these two rooms sequentially were one of my highlights of the run. I agree completely. Those two rooms were perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked. We were trying to keep the drama going, and I really like it when we can connect rooms well.
Yeah. This, I think, was the best two connected rooms that I can recall in a really long time. Sure. And also it was kind of like right after this happened and now this is happening seconds later. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, so next up we've got Haunted Manor. So maybe this is where it might be more appropriate for you to discuss your upbringing and how you were just so enamored with all these type of things.
Yeah, this is probably the most fun I've ever had making a module in a long time, if ever. Just because it was an homage to my favorite attraction ever. When I was 7, we got to go to Disney World. It had just opened, and some of the rides weren't open yet. Pirates of the Caribbean hadn't quite opened yet. They were still working on it. But I got to go on this one time. It was an e-ticket ride, I believe. So I only had one e-ticket. So I blew it on this one, and I thought I'd be scared, and I was, but I was also just completely mesmerized by just the atmosphere and the immersion and all the wonder. So yeah, I thought about that ride for years and years. And then when I got about 12, 13, I started trying to talk all the neighborhood kids and their moms into letting us have haunted houses in their basements. So yeah, we had several haunted houses around every Halloween growing up, which was great. And that was my chance. Believe it or not, I would make a map. I would just totally, I think it's my dad was an engineer, so I think some of that kind of rubbed off on me a bit.
Wow.
Anyway, or draftsman too. So yeah, we ended up, I think my freshman year in high school, we finally had it in a 2-story barn on the edge of town. And yeah, that taught me a lot. Made a really cool map. Wish I still have it, but had a great time. If it wasn't for that ride, then I don't know if True Dungeon would have ever happened.
Wow.
It was
That's
a thing that got
unbelievable.
me so interested in making immersive fun for other people. And when I was a kid, loved October. I remember having haunted houses in our basement, and there's 2 next door neighbors, and then yeah, then finally we got to do it in the barn, and man, that was crazy. And it also taught me a lot about event management and what can go wrong. Good stuff. Yeah, you get all these plans, and then one funny story. They had the barn was at the back of an orchard, so it was really creepy. The people had to walk down this long lane to get to the barn, and the neighbors had recording of the haunted mansion recording from Disney. So I asked one of the neighbors to record it on a little battery operated tape recorder. So when they're walking down the scary lane, they're going to hear all this spooky stuff about haunted houses. So it's going to be amazing, right? And it was amazing. Unfortunately, I did not specify. This is where I learned my first time when I was like 13. I did not specify to make sure the whole tape was that. So after about 20 minutes, they started hearing the Archies singing "Sugar, Sugar, Sugar" or whatever that.
Well, maybe that was even scary as well,
Could
right?
have been. Yeah. So that's when I was like, yeah. So anyway, that was funny. That was my first experience where I was like, well, I wasn't specific enough.
Exactly.
So, always test things. So.
Yep, that's just like in my world. I've spoken to you this way many times in emails and talking. Very specific, start to finish and everything in between, to a fault. I think people are annoyed by that, but that's one of the reasons why when you're organizing things, you just most of the time it's got to be specific. Let's see, checking in on chat. Jordan has a question. Hearing about your influence is awesome. What games are you playing now, if you have time, that inspire you? Any good TTRPG campaign moments lately?
We're playing some D&D again, finally, after a while. Got a couple of local guys that are running, kind of flipping back and forth, playing 5th edition, which is interesting, and having a great time doing that. It's more kind of a social thing, and we don't take it super seriously, but I'm having a great time just being a player and getting to use. I played D&D since the beginning for tactics and strategy and all that. I love the So I always play characters that have lots of weird little abilities, and I have a lot of fun doing that. So, computer, believe it or not, I'm playing this crazy game called Humanity. It's this like small little open world survival zombie game. A friend of mine really likes it, and it keeps him out of trouble. So play with him, and he seems to really like it, and it's a fun little game. Keeps him happy and out of trouble.
And that's an online game, like a co-op?
Yeah, you can play it co-op or individually. I've got I went ahead and just spent a little money every month to make a server for it. So we've got a dedicated server that he gets to play around with, and yeah.
That's cool.
So I can also go in and drop little items in and put things in because I'm the admin, so I can make it somewhat like a campaign, or I can drop things in.
So, John has a question. What character are you playing now, your D&D character?
Sorcerer, Clockwork Sorcerer. Just played today, actually, right before the show.
Wow.
So, lots of fun little abilities and had some good times.
Cool.
Yeah, I cast Aid today, and I extended it so that it lasts 16 hours on 3 people, which is like the whole adventuring period.
Whoa. That's a high-level spell, right?
It's second level.
Oh, okay. I might be thinking something else then. Yeah.
But I pulled some weirdness, so I'm a human, and anyway, I was able to get the 8 spell through some sleazes through the.
That's cool. Yeah, I had a fire sorcerer that I really enjoyed. Yeah, it's a fun class. Speaking of fun, maybe we should watch the intro to Haunted Manor. Let's watch this, boys and girls.
The land of Cravenmoor has fallen into darkness. Where once the light of dawn brought life and laughter, now only shadow remains. From the looming heights of Castle Cravenmoor, the vampire lord Craven casts his terrible curse, draining the land of hope and binding it to his will. Yet still, there are those who would defy him. A band of adventurers, newly sworn into the Order of the Dawn, has taken up the quest to end his reign. Armed with powerful hunter bows, crafted by a mad tinkerer touched by tragedy, they set forth towards the vampire's castle with grim resolve. But the path is treacherous. A furious storm descends upon them, thunder shaking the earth and rain blinding their way. Driven from the road, they find shelter within a crumbling manor on the outskirts of the cursed woods. Inside, the air grows cold, and laughter echoes where no living soul remains. For the house is not empty. The dead are far from silent, and you find that the room you just entered has no exit.
Yeah, that was a really cool intro. I think that might have been one of my favorites, you can't turn back, So that was very awesome. Brian has a question. Can I get the guy on the end's workout plan? That guy is ripped. Which end? The Frankie's end? So when you first go into room 1, it's called the Hall of Tapestry. The Garrett Bay says, this is probably my favorite room. Love this puzzle. In the Line of the Adventures. Okay, well, we might get to him at the end. This was a very cool room. And I kind of liked that it was kind of small, too. You're almost kind of cramped. And the true dungeon nerd in me was like, where's the door? How do you get out of here?
This is I don't know if you've ever been on that ride, the Haunted Mansion at Disney, but yeah, it starts off, you're trapped in a circular room, and there's kind of the intro. We got a guy off of Fiverr that could do a really low voice, a sinister low voice, and paid him to do the intro.
Wow.
Just to match kind of the same thing that you got out of the ride.
That's cool.
And then we put this graphic kind of in the holding area just to set up that you're going into a round room. And this was actually the purple one. It was kind of tilted a little bit more than what it's shown here, but it was pointing at the first tapestry.
Got it. That's
bit of a
cool. So yeah, right off the bat, you were doing the homage. So this was the clue, and the guy with the deep voice reads this, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So let me just double check the sound on these guys here. All right, good. So let's watch this little video here of this room. Super cool room. It's called the Hall of Tapestries, and from that clue, you need to figure out, a lot of information. And once this is finished playing here, I'll show you like the answers basically. And Basic Brain says, being stuck in a room with no doors was pretty crazy. Metaphoric Dragon says, took way too long for us to find the right synonym for forest. Yeah. Mr. Rye Whiskey says, this room was cooler than the elevator Walt design. Disney was a master showman, but the puzzle was magic on a whole nother level.
Wow.
Look at there. Take that to your grave, huh, buddy? Yeah. So all of these tapestries, you had to use this clue here to figure out.
Yeah. On the floor, there was one circle that was bigger, and it was purple, hence like a royalty color, kingly.
That
so
took us a while to figure out, yeah.
If you started there, it was basically whatever you're seeing, which was an inn.
Right. And these...
There's a little bed graphic on there. It's not a tavern. It's a little inn. I had to put the little bed in there, I think.
Yeah. Big Ben says the character DM for this room on Saturday night was amazing. Yeah, this was
Both
awesome.
of them were awesome. Yeah, I was mad because I couldn't watch this room much because it kind of ruined it if I opened the door and said, hi, how's it going? But I could listen anyway, and every time I went by, I was chuckling. So,
yeah, we were all over the place trying to figure out what these things meant. But yeah, it was very cool. And as you can see, in great need, I would peek behind, and it's this kind of peek, behind pale morning night and morning, like, so yeah, really great room.
This is one of those puzzles that I had to beat my head on a wall for hours to come up with this, just to have something that, would make sense and that had kind of a, everyone, I forgot what the term is. There's a literary term for the kind of word we're using here where some of them were homophones, some of them were, I forgot the other term. But anyway, it took me hours to get this to work, and I was really happy with it once it was done. It was more of a relief that it was over than proud that it was.
That's funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
well, a home run right out of the park here with room one. I mean, this is a room one. I mean, what you're about to see is going to be amazing. So Hep the Dragon says homonyms is maybe the word you were looking for.
Homonyms.
Homonyms. Metaphoric Dragon is also +1ing. The Saturday night DM was awesome. So we move on to room 2. This is the Chamber of Portraits. A lot of cool portraits throughout here. And each one of these, images were pretty scary looking, but one was more scary than the others.
Oh, before we go any farther, I did want to say the Roblox clue in that room. I'm trying to give those out.
Okay, sure.
A picture can be worth one word. That was the clue that you're trying to convert each thing to
one word. Yeah. Sometimes the road clues are very helpful. Belinda says, hi everyone. Hello, Belinda. One of the new players in my party mentioned that the NPC in the first Haunted Manor puzzle room was just fantastic. Man, lots of people loving this room 1 DM. Yeah, I agree.
Both of them were great.
Metaphoric Dragon says we spent the tornado warning with these portraits. Oh no, you were trapped there. Well, you could practice your sliding a lot, so. All right, so this was the Chamber of Portraits. Let's look at the room 2 video here, and we can chat at the same time.
Yeah, this is again inspired by there's a Hall of Portraits somewhat in the ride. They had some special effects. So they used UV reactive invisible ink to kind of make the portraits change. But I wanted to do something a little more out there. So we went with the video, and basically he changes into a wraith and attacks the party. So
Very cool. Yeah, that was quite scary, and a fun combat for sure. Yeah, very, very cool. And then room 3, was this the one? No, this was a puzzle. I was thinking there was a choice room. So in room 3, there was like a super freaky sphere with a head inside. What in the
well,
world?
there was on the golden ticket run.
Oh, was
So,
there not on the other ones?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Never mind. Moving on.
Okay. Well, there were these
So
little
with this-
orbs on the table.
Yeah. So every one of those was different. There's a little instrument in there. They were kind of a red herring.
They were definitely a
compared to
red herring.
So this is what it looked like when we did it at the shop and tested it, and it worked really well. And then we got to the show and the golden ticket. There was so much of a cacophony of sounds that you get that we can't test very well here, apparently. It worked great in Carbondale, but it was just too hard for the NPC to hear anything going on. So we had to take it was kind of a half silvered crystal ball. Again,
Yeah, okay. So I mentioned that to you, that it was kind of shrill. It was kind of hard to really,
We had a
listen
voice
to.
changer.
So you got
We
rid
had
of
a voice-
you got rid of the globe.
Yep, we got rid of the globe. It still looked really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a bad design on my part to even think this would work. But I was kind of hoping, since I love this room so much in the ride, that I wanted to make. There's a really probably the most famous, one of the most famous rooms in that ride is the seance room with this ball floating with a head in it. So I really wanted to do that if we could, but Drake liked doing this one because it's a musical puzzle. He did the design on this one, and did all the music stuff I don't know about.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, he did all that. So the NPCs did great. The ones outside and inside the table did really well, and they put up with being in that thing for hours and hours.
Yeah. There's been a few rooms where there's someone like under and inside, and sometimes you only see a hand. So yeah, the blue hands are doing great work here.
The gist on this puzzle was that if you kind of looked away from the crystal ball, you looked at where it was sitting on, there was a design in the platform, and it basically, I think there were 17 skulls that went around the whole thing, and some of them had gems in their eyes and some didn't. And basically it was basically a 17-note song with a long whole note at the end. And anyway, that basically told everybody when to play their bell. So if you could keep time, and basically everybody just hit their bell whenever their ring told them to.
Mhm.
Sometimes it was 2, maybe 3 times. You would make the song, and it would make the ghost very happy, and she would let you continue on.
Right. You had to prove your worth.
Right. The timing. The clue in here, the real clue was timing is instrumental, which is kind of misleading because, again, they have these instruments in the little tiny
the red herring globes. Yep.
But I'm glad that we were able to at least keep those little crystal balls. They were really cool. But the timing part was basically you look around your instrument that's before you, and you'll see around the rim the timing.
Right. And how did you know where to start? I forget that.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
forgot.
one of the ones was maybe it was a little obvious. Maybe somebody in chat remembers how to start.
Somebody will say, yeah.
So yeah, once you knew where to start, then you would just go in your order and play your bell.
Yep. Oh, I
And-
think it was.
Oh, Big
Yeah,
Skull.
it was-
People are saying jewels in the skull's
Big
eye.
Skull.
One skull was
Big
larger.
Skull.
Big Skull. Big Skull. We knew. See, you guys have got to come and watch the show and also help us remember how to do the riddle reveal.
Right.
And let's see. I thought I saw a question here. At least people were just saying this room was awesome. Even as a professional musician, there was enough of a challenge to coordinate a group in 12 minutes. Plus, handbells are fun to play. Yeah, so a lot of people saying this was very fun. And Meat Hook says that's me and the orange. Well, there you are, Meat Hook. You're famous now, baby. That's Meat Hook. Very cool avatar name. And there you are in the video. Speaking of video, I should have done this probably like 2 or 3 times by now, and my apologies for being a bad YouTuber. Please click that like and subscribe thing to help spread the love of True Dungeon, and also click that pinned link to enter the drawing for True Dungeon treasure chips and also gold bars, first, second, and third place. Maybe I'll show that real quick if you guys don't mind. So yeah, here's first place, second place, and third place. You need to be here in order to win. So click the pinned link, enter the drawing. At the end of the show, I'll do a drawing, and you say, "Yep, I'm here," and that's how you win. So we'll do that right at the end. And let's see, where was I? It is time for room number 4 of the Haunted Manor. And this was called the Axe Ride.
Yes.
And, ooh, I'm not sure if my group solved this, or maybe they didn't solve it when I was with them. Because
This was a split room where you could either, you walked in and there was this spooky looking bride with a big axe, and again, a homage from one of the attic room that's in the ride. This was a split one, so you could either fight her or you could help her get rid of her 10 dead ex-husbands that were bothering her, and she was ready to get them. So basically you had to link their an object that belonged to them in a certain order as they appeared in the magic mirror, so that their souls would be free. So
this one was tough. A lot of people are in chat agreeing, but hey, they all can't be easy. So yeah, this one was tough. So from a riddle reveal point of view, these were the answers here. Now I know this might not make any sense here, but when you watch the magic mirror, each of these people had something about them that was kind of, noticeable. So here's the first 5. So the handsome guy gets the silver mirror. The guy looking through a spyglass gets an arrowhead, and so on and so on. So you can see these answers here. And then here is 6 through 10. Some of these might have been a little easier, like the sailor with the rope.
We gave there's one that was probably the hardest, was the guy with the ear horn. It was the person wearing a helmet, a dented helmet. He'd gotten hit a lot in the head, and so therefore he was somewhat hard of hearing. But there was the NPCs kind of gave a clue to that about halfway through, just to make that one. But again, if you got all the other 9 correct, then that one would have to be number 4. But
yeah, I think on our last try we had them all right except 2, so we didn't know which 2 to switch. So this one was a tough one. The Maggie says that she enjoyed the combat way more than the puzzle, and she got married. It felt right. So let's look at the puzzle video here. So this was by the way, the design was amazing. The NPC was awesome. I felt like the images were a little too fast for my eyeballs, and the connecting object thing was, a little too advanced for me.
Yeah, it was a little tough.
Yeah, but
Agreed.
super, super fun. So this is what the puzzle looked like, and then the combat. This is the combat. You're fighting the Axe Bride.
Yeah, they had real interesting combat in here. She shrieked at one time, every round basically, just to do some AOE damage. She'd hack with that big axe, and then round 2 she would propose to somebody, and they had to basically make a will save. So, because she's very good at acquiring husbands, and she gets bored with them quite quickly, and
Yeah, Mongo got married. Maggie got married, and Mr. Ryrisky, I think it's probably speaks for us all by saying, regardless of the difficulty, beautiful and fun to look at. Yeah, it was a very, very cool room. All right, so then the final room for Haunted Manor was called the Mistress of the Manor. A very cool room. Oh, these were the graveyard ones I was thinking about.
yeah, this is from that company that gave us we licensed this from them as well. That did that really abomination thing. It was a nice set of animations that we were able to basically take and mill them all into something really cool. I thought they did a great job of the foreground, set deck and everything with the fence, and thought it was really cool. We had a fog machine that kind of worked sometimes. Fog's always a little difficult because it can vary based on how the air conditioning is working. So it's really a crapshoot to get to never know how it's going to work. Sometimes it worked really well, sometimes it didn't. But I thought the room had a really nice kind of feel and ambience to it.
Oh yeah, this was a great final room. I mean, all the little things that, the mistress is doing here, the attacks, the little tea. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, she had a sleep attack that was pretty cool. I thought the effect there, I think you can see it there. I don't know, I think that's success. But there was an effect where basically she kind of put you to sleep, and there was a yawn, and it always makes me yawn when I hear somebody yawn. In fact, I'm yawning now because I said the word yawn. Anyway, I was hoping that it caused some people to yawn.
That's funny. The yawn effect. Yeah, super cool room. And Maggie wants the record to show that she succeeded on the will save and turned on her party anyway. So that's a good True Dungeon player there, turning on the party. And looks like at Farazor basically did the same thing on their run. And Hep the Dragon has a question. Does the company that provide these animations disclose whether they are AI generated?
They're not, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
They've been around a long time, well before the AI came along. So,
got it.
Yeah.
Cover Stealing Badger, I gave her a token worth X GP because she liked shiny things and had to make a will save for my trouble. Got to be careful when you interact with the NPCs. That was the final room of Haunted Manor. Now, as I mentioned before, we're not going to do a riddle reveal for Castle Cravenmoor because it's going to be at Gamehole Con.
Yeah.
But I would like to do a little sneak peek for anyone who wasn't at Gen Con, or might have missed this if you were at Gen Con. And if you're going to Gamehole Con, here's a little sneak peek at the intro to Castle Cravenmoor. Enjoy.
The land of Cravenmoor lies in ruin beneath an endless night. Once its people thrived in the light of dawn, but all hope faded when a vampire lord, Craven, rose to power within the dark halls of Castle Cravenmoor. From that cursed seat, he spreads his vile dominion, draining life from the land and binding it to his will. Yet even in shadow, hope endures. A band of adventurers newly sworn into the Order of the Dawn has been chosen to end his reign. Their task is perilous beyond measure, for Craven is ancient, cunning, and ever watchful. Guided by a map given to them by a sworn enemy of Craven, the party seeks to enter the vampire's lair through a desecrated shrine, and upon his coffin, secured in a dark crypt beyond, the adventurers hope to use a magical chain of divine magic to slay Craven while he slumbers. The party readies themselves at an inn within a quiet village at the edge of the castle. But before the quest can begin, a sudden scream shatters the stillness of the inn, and the night reveals its endless hunger.
Very cool. All right, so we got some excited people in chat. Let's see. The Chris Canary says, I was able to run Craven more, and it was amazing. Chris Canary says, Gamehole Con is my favorite con. And Jeff321 says, Castle Craven was my favorite dungeon this year. The sets were awesome. Chris Canary agrees. And then we have, I think, let's see, a comment, then a question. Valerian89 says, I know that I was one of a few people who did a special thing in Castle Cravenmore, so I guess there were special things. And Brian has a question that I'll answer. Who does the intro narration? That you may have missed it at the beginning. I'll show it. This is worthy to show it again. This guy.
This guy, he does them all.
Yep, he does them all.
Yep.
Yeah, Rob Ramsey. Check my interview series. I did an interview with Rob. The voice of TD, I think I called it. So yeah, you can check that out. And he also shot all the videos that you're looking at here. And there's Rob in chat. Rob says, that's me. There you go.
That's him.
And then we have a question. Jeffrey Dillon, general question for Jeff. Is Signet of the 10 Saints done on powers? TokenDB still says subject to change.
I don't know. I got to talk to... Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll see.
Got it.
Sorry, don't have a good answer.
Okay. And let's see. Conqueror, has the overall story changed since the original reveal of this year's story?
Well, we added in the Haunted Manor. No, not really. I don't think so. So you'll find out what happens next. So yeah, you've destroyed Craven, but what the heck? The curse is still on. What's going on?
What? Crazy.
What?
What?
Going.
Wait, you mean there's more?
There's more.
AA Magic wasn't able to make it to Gen Con this year. From what I've seen, everything was taken to the next level. You are correct. It was next level. Looking forward to next year when I can hopefully attend again. AA Magic, if you can make it to Gamehole Con, it is a good one. Gamehole Con is good. Corey Klein says Lord Craven was awesome. Rob Ramsey says he also voices Grunnell. And Valerian89 says, Chris, I heard there were like 6 people that managed to do it. A lot of people saying good job to Rob. And Valerian says people seem to like the 10 Signet power. And yeah, all right, cool. So a lot of people saying that. Now, before you see the participation token that's going to be handed out at Gamehole Con, so hopefully you can make it. As one who likes to collect at least one of each one, I have to go. I have no choice. Now, another cool thing that happens at Gamehole Con is True Grind, called the Hexwords Heist. Do you know anything about this, or is this all Pick? We have to ask him, or Paul /Pick.
I know a little. I know it's going to rock. It's going to be amazing. This is sort of a little homage twist on Hexwards is close to Hogwarts. So
oh God, I didn't make that connection.
That's all I can say.
He's so silly. Paul /Pick. Another cool thing that's happening at Gamehole Con is the token exchange. So that's something that's very cool. Transmuting there. The hours are to be announced. You can see them once they're published. Either maybe Jeff will do a newsletter, or they'll be on, by the way, that monitor. This is where I look at my True Dungeon website over there. I don't know where it is on your guys' computers. Yeah, check check out upcoming events, and I'm sure we'll be there in the not too distant future. And speaking of the not too distant future, so if you're watching this live, today is the 8th, and then a week from today for the VIGs, the very important gamers of Gamehole Con, event registration starts August 15th at noon Central. And then for everyone else, the event registration starts August 29th, which is 2 weeks after that at noon Central. So go to gameholecon.com to add True Dungeon to your wish list. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't heard yet, every Friday I do a big party, a big pizza party, free pizza, free beer, free critical hit soda coupon, and a lot of free giveaways. So people really like that. So hopefully you can, keep Friday at 6 p.m. available. Okay, I did a lot of babbling, and now it's time for
there's more.
But wait, what is it? Could it be breaking news? Yeah. Breaking news. Jeff, I understand we have some breaking news. What could be the breaking news?
What the heck?
Is this a special token announcement? What's going on, Jeff?
Well, since the Coin of Wealth is such a special token, and it's going to be kind of scary to send that all through the mail, we're going to allow it to be transmuted and used at Gamehole Con. In addition, we're going to allow you guys to also use your beads of need at Gamehole Con, so you can get more treasure. We should again ship out tokens this year. Everything looks like the first week of October. So everybody should, if you place a pre-order, you'll have your tokens in time. Okay. So you'll be able to make your cows and use them.
Okay.
As well, if you just have a bead of need and you want to use that, you'll be able to use it. So at Gamehole Con. Okay. And then in addition, you can also use it at the November and December VTDs, both of them. So.
Okay. I passed out there. What? Hold on. Okay. When are tokens coming in? When can we order them? You're talking about 2027 tokens, right?
Correct.
Did you just say when we can order them? Can you say that again?
I don't have the exact date. It'll be in September. I'll do pre-orders in September, late September, and then we're going to start shipping them out the first week in October.
Okay.
So just kind of like last year, and we'll be shipping them out, and you should all have them easily within time.
I need to drink some water. Hold on.
We just thought this would be a lot nicer for folks to be able to do them in person instead of waiting until January. In case anybody wants to know, because I don't want to get emails, I want this number, I want that number for your cow. We have a special milk pail that has them in there, and you're going to use a rod, and you're going to pick out a random one.
Oh, so there's a metal chip inside.
Yeah.
Are these RFID'd?
I don't believe. Well,
so they're numbered, and there's a metal chip.
They're individually numbered, so
they
may be RFID'd. Okay. I think they are going to be, because Mike was able to get Mike Lutz was able to get ones that didn't get messed up with the magnet. I think I will check. But
yeah, because the charm doesn't have a metal slug, and you can check it with the app, Charm of Avarice. Yeah. And the Mythic Coin of Wealth, I mean, does it have a slug and RFID, or no slug and an RFID, or both?
I think I would know that, but I don't want to say because I had to check with Mike.
No problem. But just like everything else, we can't choose our number. And the way we're going to choose a number is either with our hands, if there's no metal slug, or maybe the thing. Okay. Right. Okay, so let me just recap this for anyone else who might have passed out. So end of September, we can order 2027 tokens, start shipping 2027 tokens beginning of October, and then we can, especially for those of us who have got our stuff saved up right over there, to make these cows, we bring our parts to True Dungeon, transmuting at Gamehole Con, and we can get our coin of wealth. And of course, if we purchase a bead of need as a PYP, we can bring that and use that at Gamehole Con. So we can make the coin of wealth and use the coin of wealth. And if you don't have the coin of wealth, you can, buy and use the bead at Gamehole Con. Did I get all that right?
Yep, and VTD.
Right. And the next thing is also November and December VTD. Both of these will be valid.
Yeah, and we'll probably have like a specific early time. John was talking about having a specific early time that he'll just be doing the
only cows.
Only.
Got it.
Just to keep it from getting too crazy, and that way people can get them fast before everything starts, so they don't have to worry about it.
Got it.
Yeah, and if you do me one more favor.
Sure.
Can you hit the breaking news?
Sure.
I've got something else.
Okay. There's more breaking news. Breaking news. Let me go to our normal. Hold on. Let me go to. Hold on. Let me fix my monitor here. All right. There we go. So breaking news that I don't know about. Lay it on me, Jeff.
It's about Gamehole Con. It's about Castle Cravenmore. I talked to the team, and we're going to tweak it a bit so that if you've played it before at Gen Con, you'll have a little bit of a different experience. I don't want to promise anything grand or anything, but there won't be the same exact thing that you played at Gen Con. We thought it would be a good idea to put a little extra effort in and to tweak some things. So give you a little bit more fun if you played it already. So there you go.
Happy dance.
He's happy.
Wow, that's cool. Awesome. Yeah, I like it when you tweak. And it's pretty cool for the replayability as well, and to try to see what's different. Well, that's an excellent breaking news. Thank you for sharing that on the show. All right, so I passed out. So let's go to chat here and let's see where we are. Let me try to catch up. Okay, so let me. Okay, so stop breaking the news. Oh hell yes, was waiting for this. Hazard, great news. Cows at Gamehole Con is very on brand for Wisconsin. If we aren't at Gamehole Con and we send it in, does that mean we can use it in VTD? Great question.
Yeah. Yep. We'll allow that. Sure. We'll just move the date up.
Cool.
So.
Cool. Cover Stealing Badger, that was an awesome expression. Yeah. Trent, I need the beat of need. Oh, I know. We're going to be ordering many of them. Mongo says, wow. Amanda Berry says, does the Uber Charm of Avarice have a name and full recipe yet? Yeah, right. Coin of Wealth. Yeah. Look it up. Yeah, go to tokendb.com or truedungeontokens.com and you'll see the recipe. Yeah. Unless I'm crazy, right? Isn't it there? I'm positive.
Yeah,
it's there.
Check it out.
Oh, yeah. It's been there a while, actually, because that's such a big thing, and people, I assume you wanted to give people chances to, like, save up for it. John says, can we add a bottle of Spotted Cow to the recipe? By the way, that's the free beer at my Friday night party. Basic says, don't have a cow, Trent. Too late, I had cows. Spotted Cow for Wisconsin's. Randall, what's up, baby? Very cool. Thanks, Jeff. Jordan says Trent just saw his nights and weekends evaporate. Oh, do you mean auction orders? That's okay. I love helping people. Chris says desire for a cow is a mood. I see what you did there. Tracker says talking to Magic Grind is a highly themed combat. No puzzles, just a lot of shuffleboards. Yep. Mongo says glad he was sitting down. And Hep the Dragon says Mythic Coin of Wealth is the Uber Avarice token. Yeah, in the early days, either you or we were calling it the Uber Avarice. Do you remember that, Jeff? Yeah. So people still remember that. And Mr. Ryrisky says, Alex, auctions, buddy, let's go. Brian tells me to calm down. And so much news. And yes, Bead of Need is also a part of the cow recipe. That is correct. So I need a bunch of them as well. And John has a question. Can we pick up large orders at Gamehole Con?
I got to talk to the other John. Yeah, I think if you've given the community large amounts of salsa, then you probably can for sure.
There you go. So, Salsa John, if you have given lots of salsa to the community, maybe you can. Jason has a question. Will we know the powers for the Codex Transmute? That's a little early for that, right?
Yeah, it's still up in the air, I believe. Yeah, there's a graphic that kind of just says, yeah, we have to basically figure all that out. I'm going to wait a while just so we get a little closer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jordan says, let's go. Belinda sees that I'm happy. Maggie says 2 more rooms for Castle Cravenmore? Question mark?
No. Sorry, don't. It's nothing that crazy. Just a tweak. I used the word tweak.
Jeffrey says just add 1 more. Just 1 more. And Mr. Red Whiskey has cow emoji, cowboy emoji. Coverstone Badger says, Trent, your happiness is infectious and delightful. This is the good lettuce disease. So there's the bad lettuce disease. This is the good lettuce disease. I'm sharing the love, baby. So Lori Martin, first time caller, long time listener. I'm about to put this shawarma spiced chicken on the grill. So wrap it up, baby.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right. You know what that means. Yeah, Avery came home from college today, so I haven't seen her yet. So yeah.
Okay, so we got to wrap this up. All right, so quick chat. Finish it up with the chat here. How about the legendary synergy? Will it be available? No, it's just the cow and beat of need for now. Yep. 2027 transmutations. That'll probably be January-ish. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you ever get XP for True Grind? I think no, right? No. Yep. Question, is the Coin of Wealth the only transmute that will be early? Correct. What VTD will 2027s be usable? First VTD of 2027, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Lori has spoken in the chat. Yeah, I saw Chris. Question for Jeff. Is the plan to still allow folks to pick up pre-orders at Gamehole Con if they want? That's questions from John at True Dungeon.
I believe so, but I want to make sure that the TD staff doesn't kill me for doing it. But yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen.
Jeffrey Dillon says, my question got missed. Sorry about that, buddy. Will cow be non-expiring like legendaries? Yeah, of course, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You have all the time you want to make one. Sure.
Yep. AA Magic says need to start working on building a safe hold. Yep, the safe hold's a good one. And I think so. Corey Klein has 1 more stab. You could just take away the choice at room 4 and break it to give you 6 rooms.
There you go.
And Valerian agrees. It is timeless. Yeah, that's a timeless token. That's true. That's one of the attributes. All right, Jeff, you have got to go enjoy some shawarma and see Avery. Any final thoughts to share with the group? And we got 1 more question. Sorry, Valerian. All right, last question. Has there been any discussion about the Codex tokens and the familiar they make stacking with each other?
There has been, and it's an ongoing thing, and that's probably going to get talked about again next year soon when we start all over with the next year's 2028 design, which is coming up towards the end of the year. So look for more then. Cool.
Awesome. All right. Any final thoughts? And if not, I will let you go eat some shawarma.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a lot of time. I'd like to thank so many people for an amazing Gen Con. The staff first, volunteers, the staff that we work with at Lucas Oil. They're really nice to work with. Great. Anytime we need anything, it's there, and they're really nice. So it's and then thanks to the veteran players for putting up with the room size change. Just try it out and see if it works. I know that's a big change, and you have these builds that you have all set up for 7 rooms, and all of a sudden now it's all different. So I appreciate their patience on that, and finally just thanks to Lori for kicking ass the whole year, and at Gen Con especially. She runs the place, and I get to kind of just wander around and annoy people. So that's the most fun I have. So thanks to everybody, and thanks for listening to me ramble for 2 hours. Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for being on the show, Jeff. This was a lot to get through, so my apologies for it kind of going kind of long, but hopefully it was fun. So, Jeff, we will release you into the wild to go enjoy your den and to see the daughter. And thank you very much for being on the show, and we'll see you at the next one. I'll see you at Gamehole Con in the not-too-distant future.
All right, see you guys.
All right, see you, Jeff. All right, so that was Jeff, everybody. All right, so I've got it on the screen here. I'm going to jump right into the next part here. Thank you all for watching. Please do that liking and subscribing and sharing the video with your friends and enemies. We got to get up to 600 subscribers. That would be a nice little thing to get to. So pretty cool announcements, huh? The cow, the beat of need, a little tweak to the Castle Cravenmore at Gamehole Con. So that's awesome. All right, so now super duper last chance for entering. If you haven't done it yet, click that pinned link, and that's how you enter into the drawing for what you see here on the screen, first, second, and third place. Click that link fast, answer those questions fast, and I'm now going to check to make sure that we don't have any duplicates. Let me just refresh real quick. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to do a little checking of this this list here. Looks like we have 95 entries. Let me make sure, again, there's no duplicates. Again, just talk amongst yourselves here. Let's see, data cleanup, remove duplicates. Okay, there we go. No duplicates. Okay, here we go. Let me now copy it into my little spinning wheel program. Okay, and I'm going to do one more check to see if anyone else has there you go, verklempt. All right, so I'm going to check. Looks like Crystal has joined. All right, so Crystal, looks like you might be the last one. Let me go to the bottom of the list and add you. Okay, all right, so one more refresh, and then I'm going to have to call it here, boys and girls. Okay, Crystal, you were the last one. All right, so now I will share my screen here. Let's see, this is the wrong screen. Give me a second here. I need to adjust this. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now everybody can see that, except I'm not here. So now let me add my handsome mug. All right, nobody, don't worry, don't go anywhere. I'm going to add myself to this here. There we go, there we go. Okay, so, all right, so now you can see my handsome mug. All right, so good luck, everybody. We're going to start out with third place, which is a 10x treasure chip and a 1K bar, and I will remove the person once they have won. You should be able to see your name here, everybody. Lisa, right there with the nice little thing. All right, so this is everybody's name. Okay, this is 96 people. Crystal was the 96th. And here we go. Good luck to everybody. All right. Yeah, the chip you're going to win is a 10x treasure chip and a 1K gold bar. And the winner is, this is third place, Tom White. So again, in chat, Tom, please say that you are here. This is the 10x treasure chip and the 1K gold bar. Tom, are you there? I'm here, thanks. There you are, Tom. Awesome. All right, we will remove you. All right, next up is the 3x treasure chip and the 5K bar. Here we go. Second place. Congrats, Tom. The 3x treasure chip and the 5K bar. And the winner is Daniel. Daniel, maybe you? That's my guess on the last name. Daniel, you is my guess. Daniel, there you are. Is it you or ow? I'm sure you've answered that question 18,000 billion times. So Daniel, congratulations, buddy. Very cool last name. And yeah, this is the 3x treasure chip and the 5K bar. that Daniel has won. And now I'll remove you, and the first place winner is going to get a 1 treasure chip and then a 25k bar. It's pronounced ow. Oh, cool. Awesome. I'm going to put that down. Daniel Ow. Awesome. Thank you. AU is a symbol for gold. Here we go. Speaking of gold, a single treasure chip and a 25k bar. Are you kidding me? This is the good stuff, baby. Who's going to win? First place goes to Alex H. Alex H. Please say hello in chat. And I've got your email connected, so if there's more than one Alex H, I'll be able to tell, but there isn't. Alex H, say hello in chat, please. Alex. Right caller, wrong name. Okay, Alex, are you here? Alex, okay, so Jack Galdol Jester says that's me, so I believe you, buddy. All right, so there we go. That was the first, second, and third place. Again, first place went to Alex H, a 25k bar and a single treasure chip. Second place went to Daniel Ow, a 3x treasure chip and a 5k bar. And third place went to Tom White, a 10x treasure chip and a 1k bar. I will email you all and confirm your mail-in addresses. So let's see. Steve has a question. When did the auction start again? As soon as Jeff allows them to start again. He usually in chat, I think what they usually do is set a date. That's the final date to order the 2025/2026 8K orders. And then he will start right after that, like the day after or so. They call it the early bird something. I think they used to call it pre-orders, but now they might call it something else. But then you can do the early orders for the 2027. It sounds like that's going to be like at the end of September. So as soon as those happen, I'll start the online auctions again. Thank you very much to everyone for watching the show. It's a huge help. Please do that clicking and liking and subscribing. We got to get that subscriber base up. We want to spread the love of True Dungeon. I really do appreciate everybody watching it live or watching it later. Maybe Raven had to watch this later. Hello, Raven. And to everyone else, hello to you as well. Again, thank you very much for watching. I will close by saying one of my favorite phrases. It's very hard to frown if you're smiling. So, please smile.